This time on You're the Chef, we're going to be bringing you an awesome Asian dish that's tangy, a little bit spicy, it'll blow those taste buds out. Perfect for dinner for a couple or for a party. We're going to make sesame chicken. So let's do this. So this is a simple dish. When you really break it down, it's going to have two major components and then anything else on the side. So today we're going to serve it over rice, and basically it's just going to be sauce and a batter marinade that we're going to fry to make the chicken. We're going to combine all those, and that's how we're going to have the dish. So we're going to take these chicken breasts here. We have all of our ingredients here. We're going to throw all these together. We're going to have an awesome dish. So I'm going to show you how to make every part of it. First of all, we're going to start with how to make the marinade batter that we're going to fry the chicken in. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so let's start with this marinade. Now this right here is a pre-mixture of 4 tablespoons of water, 4 tablespoons of soy sauce. So we're just going to go ahead and add this to a bowl that we're going to marinate the chicken in when we get going here. Now we also have a dry component. There's a lot of dry components. This might seem like a lot of ingredients, but actually it's really simple. You can find any of these at your grocery store for super cheap. So with this dry here, we're going to have 4 tablespoons of flour, 4 tablespoons of cornstarch. It's a half teaspoon of baking powder and a half teaspoon of baking soda. So we're going to go ahead and add that in as well. We're going to be whisking this together here in a second. Last thing that we're going to add is 2 teaspoons of vegetable oil. And that's actually not the last thing. We have one more thing because we want to give this a little Asian flair. That'll keep that nice. And this is what we're going to have. Key component, of course, sesame chicken, sesame oil, right? So now the recipe that I have, you're only going to put about 4 to 6 drops in here. Any more, it's going to start to be a little overpowering. You might not think so. That'll be plenty right there. So once you get all this together, I'm just going to take it, start incorporating it together. It's going to be really thick, and you're going to think, you're going to fry with this kind of stuff? Let's see right here, it's going to start to get all mushy together. And we just want to get it all mixed up and good. And it's going to get all nice and pasty. This is about the consistency you want right here. It's like melted down peanut butter is what it looks like, right? So you're going to take this, and it looks like it's going to be like some kind of bread or cookie dough that's got too much water in it. What we're going to do is we're going to dice up some chicken. We're going to throw it right in here and marinate it in that. And that's going to be what's going to be the skin on the chicken when we fry it up. So let's go ahead and get this chicken diced, and we'll throw it in. Okay, so what we've done now is these are 3 chicken breasts that I just took, diced them up. About the size you want is, it's always your preference, of course. About 1-inch cubes is about the best optimal, I would think. It's pretty even, pretty easy to get that. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take them and incorporate them straight in. So take them off my cutting board here. We're just going to drop them straight into this. Push them all down. We're going to do this first because we want to let them sit, because we want them to not only get coated, but we also want them to take up some of that awesome flavor there. So when you have this all going, you see how the whisk doesn't really work. So we're going to take out the whisk. And we're going to go ahead and just use a spoon to incorporate it all in there. So just take that and just make sure every little piece gets coated. Make sure they're all in there. The amount of batter that we made should be able to cover at least 3 chicken breasts usually. And of course, with any of these recipes, we can always take it down. Take half of that. If you're just going to be eating for 2 of us, usually this is about as much for 2 of us, and we're stuffed. And that's after getting seconds. So you could probably feed, 3 or 4 people maybe, depending on how much rice or sides they ate or anything like that. So you can always increase it as well, our recipe. So now that we got everything just covered, we're going to go ahead and take that and set it off to the fridge. Now in the meantime, we have our side dish going, or what we're going to serve it on actually this time. And this is going to be just regular white long grain rice. Now I use a rice cooker because I'm lazy, but you can also do it a different way. With rice, you just go ahead and you take the proportions. So like this one is 1.5 cups of rice, and we have 3 cups of water. So you just double the amount of water for the amount of rice that you put in there raw. Now to make it on the stove, instead of pushing a button, you're going to go ahead and put it in a saucepan, incorporate the ingredients, use the water as cold as well. Then you're going to bring it to a boil. Once it comes up to a boil, you're going to go ahead and put a cover on it, move it to low, and simmer that for the next 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, still don't take the lid off or anything like that. Take it off the heat, sit it for 15 more minutes, and you have perfect rice that you can serve right on your dish. So knowing that amount of time, go ahead and plan that ahead. Now the whole cooking of everything is going to take a little bit of time because you have to fry up all the chicken, and the sauce itself is going to be really easy to make. So go ahead and right before you start frying the chicken and getting the sauce and everything put together, go ahead and start your rice, and then by the time you're ready, your rice will be perfectly done. You won't be sitting around for a while, and you'll have a great rice to put your chicken on. Okay, now it's time to make the sauce. It's a cornstarch-based sauce, so you want to cook it towards the very end because the more you keep cooking it, it'll start to kind of get nasty, congealy, jelly. So we're going to cook it the very last so it's perfect consistency. But we can mix it up ahead of time because it's not going to go bad if we just go ahead and do that. So we're going to go ahead and start here. Now this is 1 cup of water. Add that to our big old bowl here. And then with that, we're going to go ahead and take chicken stock or chicken broth, either one. We're going to take 2 full cups of this thing. This is going to make a lot of sauce because we like to have a lot of sauce with it. So I'm going to measure all that here for us. So there's 1. If I was an Iron Chef or something like that, I'd just squeeze the thing out, right? Alright, so we've got our chicken in there. This is going to make a great, tangy, spicy sauce for us. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the dry components to this. The dry components, these are a little bit variable except for the cornstarch. It's going to be 1/2 cup of cornstarch. On the top there you see a little bit of sugar as well. To keep it a little bit sweet, we're going to go ahead and add 1/2 cup. Now if you want it a little bit sweeter, you can go ahead and add a little bit more. You can add a little bit less. 1/2 cup is, we think, gives the best consistency. So we're going to go ahead and add that in here. And that's going to float on top for a second. Alright, now with this, we're going to go ahead and grab our vinegar. Now usually for this, I'll go ahead and just use like a regular rice vinegar that you can find in your grocery store. Just go to like the Asian food section. You should be able to grab that. We're going to go ahead and add between, now this is again controls the tanginess of how it's going to end up. So we're going to go ahead and make sure we add, you can add about 1/4 to 1/2. So I'm going to go ahead and add somewhere towards the 1/2 because I like a little bit more tangy. It's going to have a great flavor to it, way better than any store or restaurant you can go to and grab that at. Okay, we're going to go ahead and grab our garlic as well. I went ahead and pre-minced 1 clove of garlic. So we're going to go ahead and add that in. Give it a good little extra flavor. Then we're going to grab chili paste. You can also grab this in any Asian food section, anything like that. The chili paste is just great for spicing up pretty much anything you can grab here. And this is going to be kind of what controls how hot this is going to be. So you want to add 2 teaspoons of this. And I add a little bit extra because I like it spicy. And that'll give a great little kick to it. So you'll get like a sweet tanginess, and then you're going to end up with a little fiery kick at the very end of that. So now that we have that, we're going to go ahead and add our soy sauce. This is going to be 4 tablespoons of soy sauce. It's regular. Just 1. Going to run out of soy sauce here. Alright, 4 tablespoons of that. And then we're also going to add a whole lot of sesame oil. Okay, so here's our sesame oil. We're going to go ahead and add this. Now since we're making a lot of sauce, 4 tablespoons might seem like a lot, especially because earlier I told you that sesame oil was pretty potent. But because we're making it in huge bulk here, it's not going to make as big of a difference. Look at all that floating to the top, all that goodness. Alright, so there's our sauce right there. And you're going to start smelling sesame immediately. It's going to be the first thing that's going to start coming to mind here. Now as we incorporate it, it's going to have kind of like a color change and everything right here. Going to start breaking everything up. It's going to look kind of like our marinade, but liquid instead. And it's going to have a great flavor, great taste. You'll start to see the peppers floating around in there. Once you get this all mixed up, we're going to go ahead and just leave it. And that's going to be like our last step. We're going to add it to our dish there on the stove. And it will be perfectly ready to go. Okay, so now our chicken's been marinating for at least 20 minutes. Of course, it can marinate longer, right? You can never marinate too long, can you? Anyway, we're going to go ahead and drop it into our deep fryer. Now I have like an industrial type deep fryer here. This is our baby right here. We can just set the temperature and just drop it right in. Now sometimes you don't have that luxury, so you have to go ahead and do it on your stove. Just make sure that when you're cooking things like chicken that it's up to 375 degrees. That'll make sure that it cooks evenly and cooks all the way through, so you're going to be cooking safe but still be able to get the same flavors and textures that you want. So we're going to go ahead and take this here. Now we have a little basket, so we don't have to fish it out or anything like that. What I usually do is just drop the basket down in there, and then you just take them one at a time, and we're just going to drop them in while it's going. So we're going to just go like that. What's it's going to do is it's going to make sure that they don't sink to the bottom, or they don't sink to the bottom and get stuck. Because the first time we did this, we took it and we just threw all of our chicken into the basket and then threw it in the deep fryer. And what happened then is they all stuck together and none of them cooked all the way through, and it was really gross. And we had to pry them all apart and refry them, and it just wasn't that good. So ever since then, we've been doing it this way so that none of them will stick to each other, and so they'll cook, and we'll have like a perfect crispy outside. And when you bite into it, you're going to get the crispiness, and you're going to get a sesame flavor that's going to kind of be an undertone to that. It's going to be cooked juicy and flavorful. And then we're going to put the sauce on top of that, and it's going to be even better. So we're going to go ahead and let these go until they're really golden brown. Now we got some that we've already cooked here. So like this color right here is what you're looking for. Make sure you can see that. So it's going to get like a nice, almost flaky, tender skin on there. That's going to be so delicious when you bite into it. So we're going to let these go, and they're going to take a few seconds to take in that oil and heat up and cook and brown. And then before you know it, we're going to be eating. So we're going to cook these up. It takes about a minute to a minute and a half, just depending on the deep fryer and how many pieces of chicken you put up in there, how thick they are. And then we're going to go ahead and make our sauce, serve it up, and we got this. Okay, now we got this chicken perfectly fried. All golden brown, a little bit dark, crisp, like these little crisp guys. We're going to keep them warm right here. It's only going to take us a couple more minutes to finish the sauce because I've got it cooking over here. So let's come over here. Over here, we've got everything from the sauce all just dumped into a saucepan. We went and took it, and I just got it on medium heat over here. And we're going to go ahead and have this boil. Almost spilled it on myself. That would have been very good at all. So we're going to go ahead and keep stirring it. Now because this has cornstarch in it, once it gets up to a boiling consistency, it's going to go ahead and congeal and start to thicken up super fast. So it's going to go from pretty much a pure liquid here to like almost semi-gelatinous, if you want to call it that. It's going to have that like nice kind of syrupy texture that you get, say, when you go to an Asian restaurant and get your orange chicken or something like that. So right now, if you can go ahead and take a look at this, you can see everything's starting to cook down. That white in there are stuff like the cornstarch and things like that. And you can see the pepper flakes floating in there. Now, it's starting to boil a little bit over this heat here. And hopefully we can capture this magic moment of thickening, and then we'll be set to serve. Action. So here we are. It's been about 5 minutes or so on high to medium heat. It's going to be getting ready to thicken here. So we're trying to capture that magic moment. So to see how the sauce color is changing a little bit. Seems to be the indicator, I think. It's going to change the color of the sauce that we're eventually going to get here. You'll feel it start to thicken up as you're stirring it. Oh, see right there. Here it's going. Hear it boiling. See, this is starting to get a little soupy. You'll see these little colors changing here as it starts to congeal and then kind of gets onto the side. Look at this right here. So it was liquid 2 seconds ago. See this miraculous change to like a gravy consistency. This right here. That's what you're looking for. So you're going to keep mixing this up, and we're going to turn it down now, just to keep it a little bit warm. But see this right here? So now we went from liquid to what I can only describe as, I don't know, syrup, gravy. And that's exactly what we want right there. So now we just get ready to serve. Okay, so we mastered the magical moment of the sauce there. So we're going to take our sauce, we got our rice, and our chicken, We're going to go ahead and plate this. Now this is the magical, perfect moment. Now, my wife isn't a huge fan of Italian parsley, but I am. So we're going to go ahead and take some of this here, and we're going to mince it up so that we can get a little bit of color into the dish. Because a lot of it's going to be gray and brown and white, and I kind of want to add a little bit of flavor to it. Not flavor, I guess color flavor. So we're going to go ahead and do some of that. And just for her sake, we're only going to do a little bit. Okay, so let's take our plate here. First thing we're going to do, open up our rice that we've been cooking for a while. And we're going to go ahead and serve it up here. Look at that. It's going to fall off its little thing, but we're good. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and put that right in the middle here. Now we consider this its own meal in itself. You can always add a side onto it, of course. Something like grilled asparagus would probably be amazing with this, and it would go a long way. Just to add a little bit of a flavor or vegetable if that's what you want to serve with it. Look at that right there. Nice big plate full. Go ahead and take our chicken now. I'm going to go ahead and grab a bunch of these. I'm just going to serve them right on top here. These are our perfectly fried chickens. And they're nice and crispy. Okay. We're going to take them over here. Now, I like to use a really big spoon. We're just going to go ahead and dip right into our sauce here. So see how this is still like a gravy consistency? Not liquid anymore? That's exactly how you want it. We're just going to go ahead and drizzle right over the top of the chicken. It's got a nice tangy flavor, so you're going to definitely want a lot of it if you like that tanginess, that spiciness. Remember we added that chili paste in there? That rice is going to absorb a lot of it too, and you can just go ahead and eat it all along with each other. So we're going to go ahead and just add that in. Beautiful. Go ahead and leave that right there. So now that we've got this, best things to do, take some sesame seeds, just add them right over the top. That way everybody knows, hey, it's sesame chicken, right? I'm going to take some of that parsley, a little bit of color, and I'm going to take a little bit of lemon zest just for some extra flavor in there. And voila! This right here, this is our sesame chicken. So this is Chef Frosty. And just remember, you can make this because you're the chef of your own house. We'll see you next time.